All right, guys, this will be the last video for the week. I know I wanted to get through a couple more examples of this ambiguous case for the law of signs where you have two different triangles you have to solve. So we got a couple more of those we'll get through, and then that should wrap it up for the week. Let's see. Start off with our diagram as we've been doing. Okay, so I have the measure of angle A. Okay, so I'll put A in this lower left-hand corner, and that's 43 pesos. Okay, the length of the side opposite angle A is 25. Okay, so this A is 25. Okay, the length of the side opposite B, little b, has to be adjacent to angle A, so we have side-side angles. So this has to be B, and that is 28. Okay, if that's the case, then point B, if it exists, is down here. Point C is up here. Again, we could call this side AB. We could call little c if we want to. Doesn't make any difference. Okay, so again, start with the height. Okay, and remember, once again, the height is always little b times the sine of angle A. Okay, so we are going to get 28 times the sine of 43 pesos, and just go to your calculator and punch that in and see what we get, see if we can form a triangle or not. So 28 times the sine of 43, that makes no sense. 28 times the sine of 43, and I am getting 19.10 when it's rounded off to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so we can see that side little a right here is longer than the height, so we can definitely reach down there, okay, and form a triangle. So we definitely have a triangle. Okay, so let's see, we have little a is greater than h. That means we can form a triangle. But if we compare little a and little b, notice that little a is less than b. So that means that we could swing little a over here and form a second triangle. Okay, so these two things mean we have two triangles. Okay, so we're going to have one triangle. Okay, that maybe sort of looks like this. Okay, with A here, B here, C here. Okay, this is 28. This is 25, and this is 43 pesos. And then we have a second triangle where we can swing little a over here and form a second triangle. Okay, so it might look something like this. Okay, so we have our little a, our angle A, which is 43 pesos. C, B, okay, we've got 25 and we've got 28. Okay, so we're going to go back here. We're going to solve this triangle. All right, so let's see. I've got the sine of angle A, which is 43 pesos, over the length opposite that, which is 25, equals the sine of angle B, which we don't know. That'll actually be something we have to find, over the length of the side opposite that, which is 28. And then we have the sine of angle C, which we don't know, over the length of the side opposite, which we don't know either. We could call it little c. I'll just call it AB. Okay, so let's see. First thing we have to find. We have to find the measure of angle B. Okay, so we set up our proportion. Sine of 43 over 25 equals the sine of angle B over 28. Okay, so let's see. We're going to use our cross products. 25 times the sine of angle B equals 28 times the sine of 43 pesos. Divide by 25, so we get the sine of angle B equals 28 times the sine of 43, all divided by 25. Okay, and let's see, then we have to use sine inverse. Okay, so the measure of angle B will be sine inverse of this entire ratio. Okay, so I separate the numerator from the denominator. 28 times the sine of 43 pesos, okay, all over 25, and then I just input that into the calculator. So let's see, second sine inverse, okay. That takes care of this guy, so I need that guy. 28 times the sine of 43. That takes care of that guy, then I need that one. Okay, divided by 25, and then my last set of grouping symbols. And I am getting 49.80 pesos. Okay, when it's rounded off to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so my angle B, 49.80. Okay, so we need to find the measure of angle C, and the only way we can do that is using the triangle sum theorem. Okay, so the measure of angle C would be 180 minus the 43 minus the 49.80. Okay, 180 minus 43 minus 49.80, and I am getting 87.20 pesos. Okay, so the last thing I have to find is the third missing side. Okay, side AB. Okay, so let's see. We're going to use this guy right here. Okay, sine of 43 over 25. And then we set that equal to the sine of angle C. And we know that angle C is 87.20 over AB, and AB is what I'm looking for. Okay, so we take our cross products. Okay, so I have AB times the sine of 43 equals 25 times the sine of 87.20, and then divide by the sine of 43. So AB, and I'm going to separate the numerator from the denominator because I'm going to punch the whole thing in the calculator at once. So that'd be 25 times the sine of 87.20, all divided by the sine of 43, and just punch that in the calculator. Let's see what we got. 25 times the sine, 87.20, double parenthesis, divided by the sine of 43. And I am getting 36.61. Okay, so the length of side B would be 36.61. Take a look, make sure it makes sense. Let's see. Our largest angle is angle C. The longest side is the side opposite that. That makes sense. Our smallest angle is angle A, and the shortest side is opposite that. That makes sense, so we should be in good shape. Okay, so remember, okay, this angle B here, okay, and this angle B here have to be supplementary. Okay, so to find the measure of angle B over here, okay, we're going to have to go 180 minus 49.80. 180 minus 49.80. I'm getting 130.2 pesos. Okay, so that's our first thing. Okay, so that guy right there is 130.20 pesos. Okay, so I have two measurements for two of the angles, A and B, so I can use the triangle sum theorem to find the measure of angle C. Okay, so let's see, measure of angle C is 180 minus the 43 minus the 130.20. Okay, so 180 minus 43 minus 130.20 0.20, and I'm getting 6.80 pesos up here. Okay, I think we're in good shape here. Let's see. All right, so the last thing we have to find is this missing third side. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my cornerstone ratio, the sine of 43 over 25. And set that equal to, I need AB, and that's opposite angle C, so it'd be the sine of angle C, sine of 6.80 all over the missing side length, AB. Okay, so taking my cross products, AB times the sine of 43 equals 25 times the sine of 6.80, and then dividing by the sine of 43, and separating the numerator from the denominator using grouping symbols, 25 times the sine of 6.80, all divided by the sine of 43. And then just punch it into our calculator. Okay, so let's see, 25 times the sine 6.80, double parenthesis, divided by the sine of 43. I'm coming up with 4.34. So this guy right here, 4.34. All right, and then we take a look at, do things make sense? Okay, so let's see, the largest angle is angle B. It's opposite the longest side, okay? And then the smallest angle would be angle C, and it's opposite the shortest side, so things make sense there. Okay, so we're in good shape. Okay, one more. All right, let's see if this works out. Okay, always start with your diagram. At least I always do, because I need a diagram. Okay, I know angle A, and that is 65 pesos. Okay, I know little a is 55. Okay, I know little b, which has to be adjacent to angle A, is 57. So if that's little b, vertex B would have to be down there if we can form a triangle, and then obviously vertex C is up here. Okay, so first thing we have to look at is what is our H. Okay, so in this case, H would end up being B times the sine of angle A. Okay, so it is going to be 57 times the sine of angle A is 65, and then just go to our calculator. 57 times the sine of 65, and I'm getting 51.66. Okay, so the height is 51.66. So if we compare that height with little a here, notice that A is 55 units, so we can definitely reach down there. So we can certainly form a triangle, okay, because we have A is greater than H, and then we compare A and B. Okay, A is smaller than B, so that means we can swing that side over and form a second triangle. Okay, so A is greater than B. Okay, and I'm sorry, A is less than B. My fault, I said A is greater than B. If A is greater than B, we'd only have one triangle. Okay, A is less than B. Okay, so this right here, taken together, okay, means that we can form two triangles. Okay, so let's see. I've got triangle number 1. I've got triangle number 2. Let's see what they look like. So this guy, something like this. Okay, with A is here, B is here, C is here. We know A is 65 pesos. We know that little a is 55. We know that little b is 57. Okay, and then let's see if we swing little a over here, we can form another triangle. So it might look something like this. with little a still being 65 pesos. Okay, I'm sorry, with angle A still being 65 pesos. Little a is still 55. Little b is still 57. And then we have C. Okay, so let's see what we got going on. We've got the sine of 65 over 55 equals the sine of angle B over 57 equals the sine of angle C over little c, which I'm going to call AB there. Okay. All right, so again, here's our cornerstone ratio. This ratio only has one unknown in the numerator, so we can set these two equal to each other and solve for the measure of angle B. Okay, so we get the sine of 65 pesos over 55 equals the sine of angle B over 57. We take our cross products, so we have 55 times the sine of angle B equals 57 times the sine of 65 pesos. Divide by 55, so we get the sine of angle B equals 57 times the sine of 65 pesos, all divided by 55, which means we have to use inverse sine to find the measure of angle B. Okay, so the measure of angle B is sine inverse. Okay, separate the numerator and denominator. So I have 57 times the sine of 65 pesos, all divided by 55. And we just punch that into the calculator. Okay, so let's see. Second, sine inverse. That guy's up. So we have 57 times the sine of 65, second there, divided by 55. And we punch that in. I'm getting 69.93 pesos for the measure of angle B. Okay, so 69.93 pesos. Okay, so we can use the triangle sum theorem to find the measure of angle C right here. Okay, so measure of angle C equals 180 minus the 65 minus the 69.93. Just punch that into your calculator. 180 minus 65 minus 69.93. And I'm getting 45.07 pesos. Okay, so the measure of angle C is 45.07 pesos. Okay, now I have to find the third side. Okay, so let's see, we go back to our cornerstone guy, sine of 65 over 55. And we set that equal to the sine of angle C over AB, and we know it's C is 45.07. So we get the sine of 45.07 all over AB. And then we use our cross products. Okay, so AB times the sine of 65 equals 55 times the sine of 45.07, and we divide by the sine of 65. So AB, let's see, separate the numerator and denominator, so 55 times the sine of 45.07, second parenthesis, divided by the sine of 65. And we just punch that into our calculator. Let's see, 55 times the sine of 45.07, double parenthesis, divided by the sine of 65. And I am getting 42.96. Okay, so coming back up here, 42.96. And then take a look, see if it makes sense. Okay, so let's see. Of the three angles, angle B is the largest. and it is opposite the longest side here. Okay, so that's good. And then the smallest angle is angle C, and it is opposite the shortest side. Obviously, the other two guys are in the middle, so it looks like we're in good shape. Okay, so remember, this angle B here and this angle B here have to be supplementary. Okay, so over here, to find the measure of this angle B, we go 180 minus the measure of this angle B, 69.93. Okay, so let's see, 180 minus 69.93, and I'm getting 110.07 pesos. Okay, so this angle B is 110.07 pesos, which now, and again, it's an approximation, but it's a good one. So now I can use the triangle sum theorem to find the measure of angle C. So the measure of angle C is 180 minus the 65 minus this 110.07. Okay. 180 minus 65 minus 110.07. I'm getting 4.93 pesos. Okay, so this guy is 4.93 pesos. So the only thing we have left to do over here is find the third side, side AB. So again, go back to my sine of 65 over 55. And set that equal to the sine of angle C over AB, and we know the angle, measure of angle C, so it'd be the sine of 4.93 over the side opposite angle C, which is AB. Okay, so we use our cross products, so we get AB times the sine of 65 equals 55 times the sine of 4.93 pesos, and divide by the sine of 65. Separate the numerator from the denominator. 55 times the sine of 4.93, all divided by the sine of 65. And then just use your calculator. Okay, so let's see. 55 times the sine of 4.93 pesos, two parentheses, divided by the sine of 65, parenthesis. And I'm getting 5.22 when it's rounded off to the nearest hundredth. So 5.22. Okay, so let's see. We take a look and see if things make sense. The largest angle is angle B. The longest side is opposite angle B. That's good. Okay, the smallest angle is angle C, and the shortest side is opposite that. The other two are in between, so the numbers make sense, and we should be okay. All right, that wraps it up for the week. Hopefully this helps you out. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'll be checking it regularly. Leave me a message on Google Classroom. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, I'll get back to you as soon as I see it. And don't forget about the quiz due on Monday. Don't forget that's not credit, no credit. That is actually going to be graded. You guys be safe. Talk to you soon.